married for 28 years to my husband, who is being deported right now by ICE. 28 years. He's been here over 30 years, and I want everybody to know, nobody gives a shit if you have family, if you have kids. They don't give a shit if they're taking your husband or your father away. They are taking my husband away. These are FBI agents who work for Border Patrol. Okay? I want everybody to know, my family was just separated. They have taken my kid's father, and they don't give a shit. They have taken my husband away. I want everybody to know. They have taken my husband away. They don't care if they're separating families. Please, somebody, I need somebody to help me. I want everybody to know what they're doing. They are taking my husband away. They don't give a shit.
Country and taking our jobs, taking...
Trump administration is now acknowledging they wrongly deported an immigrant to that notorious prison in El Salvador, calling it an administrative error. Here's Pierre Thomas.
Tonight, the Trump administration acknowledging this man was inadvertently sent to a notorious mega prison in El Salvador because of an administrative error. Lawyers for the Salvadorian man, Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, identified in these prison video screen grabs by his U.S. citizen wife, are petitioning for his immediate return. They say Abrego Garcia was removed against a 2019 judge's order, preventing him from being sent back to his home country.
There's a video going around right now. It's been posted on X of this woman walking down the street. Apparently she was about to break her fast and meet friends during Ramadan to break their fast together. First, she's approached by an unmarked person. They're undercover. We believe these are ICE agents, some in masks. It ends up being about 6 people who surround her. They take off her backpack, take her into custody. And Kate, we understand from her lawyer that they actually don't even know where she is. When we look her up on the ICE website, it says she's in ICE custody. Typically, they will say which detention center. In this case, they don't give a location.
A demand for change after crowds of teenagers.
Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Call Allah, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Let's give all praise to the Most High, in the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to our teachers, the elders, and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful lake scattered abroad. Shalom, 244,000. It says, ICE admits Maryland man was mistakenly sent to El Salvador prison, but revealed they can't bring him back. Okay, and this is something that we told you people was going to happen, man. It was going to be this man just grabbing people up. Okay, if you look, like a so-called illegal, they'll grab you up, man. And this right here is an example of that, especially in that woman, the other woman right there as well. They say they don't know where she at. Okay, so we in this time where this devil's about to start really, showing his horns, man. Really start moving, with the quickness and the swiftness of that serpent, in that old serpent spirit, man. Okay, and a lot of you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Indians, you Jakes, you're going to be the target of all this. It says, Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Right? So these devils, they know their time is short. Okay? And with that, they're going to, speed things up. They're going to come down with great wrath. It's going to be all type of hell, breaking loose. In this country. And they're saying how within the next couple of days, the next, 20-something days, I guess now, what is it, the 24th? They gave, all the people who came here through the Biden program, all the, the immigrants, they gave them 30 days to get out of the country, okay? They gave you 30 days to get out of the country. And if you don't leave the country before then, they're going to come and get you, and they're going to send the military, okay? This is something that Trump, with his Alien Act, with that Alien Act program, whatever, he's pretty much saying, they're going to come and get people. And at first it was the criminals. Now it's just random people, that's in this country illegally. They're coming to get them. All right, so that this just goes to show you what time we're in. Okay, the time of Jacob's trouble is at hand, and in this El Salvadoran prison, they're you see they shave everybody's head. They shave everybody's head, put everybody in the same clothing. You know, so once you get up in there, you get lumped up with everybody else. And it says, but reveal they can't bring him back. Right. And that was never their plan anyways. That was never their move, was to bring people back. So you can get snatched up and get deported and can't even go back. Now your family's looking for you and they can't find you. They don't know where you at. They can't, they you know. So it's just going to get worse, man. You know, and this made me think about something I was talking about, you know, with my demon. She's from the islands and she got a lot of family here that came with the Biden program, and now they're scrambling. They're freaking out, you know. In fact, they got two young girls that's with them as well. And they're afraid of what's going to happen to them because, like I said, if you don't leave on your own, they're going to come and send, you know, the damn military and ICE and the FBI, and pretty much Trump's going to exhaust all his resources to come and start gathering these people up. You know, and they can get sent to one of these detention camps or whatever, go missing. You know, these women don't have no rights. You know, that's getting snatched up as well. So, you know, they can do whatever they want to do to you. Okay, so they're saying that people gotta, you know, get out of here on their own. At least should leave. But then a flight out of the country is expensive as hell. Not to mention, if everybody's leaving, it's gonna be even that much more expensive and hard. It may be drawn out. You may have to wait a couple of weeks for a flight. You know, and it just goes to show you that the pandemonium is only going to escalate in this country. And this is a prime example of that, okay? This is a prime example of that, man. Let's go over here, though. I'm done with that. Let's go right here. Let's go to Revelation. Chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. And like we always say, we know what this is leading up to. This ain't just going to be about the immigrants or the illegals, as they call them. The ultimate is going to come down the line. This is why I did the video with the brother you called a few weeks ago about the dissidents. The people who they deem dissidents, or, you know, they're talking about people who are who speak bad against the small hats. Which I got a video I want to do about them, but I don't do videos about them because you can't do videos about them. Okay, you cannot expose those Jewish people. Okay, you just can't, because Esau will take it down in a heartbeat. And it shows you that this country is really ran by you know, Israel, the small hats. So it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. So this devil, they're gonna start casting people. They're casting people into prison. That infamous El Salvadorian prison, the infamous Guantanamo Bay. You know, which both of those prisons are not, you know, in, you know, on the soils of America, so to speak. Okay, it says that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Was a time period of affliction, hell, chaos, you know, tribulation. All right, so some of us might get put into these prisons for a time period, and in that, you know, you're going to have to, scripture says, strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for you. You know, some of us may be cast into these prisons, and the Lord is going to tempt you. He's going to, you know, try your integrity, you know, to see if you really believe in him. It says, be thou faithful unto death, meaning you might even have to die. Okay, this is what IUIC and, you know, these sellout camps ain't telling you. You might have to die for this, man. Okay, are you willing? It says, and I will give thee a crown of life. You see, but ultimately, if we do die, we shall receive a crown of life. It says, don't be afraid of what you are about to suffer. The devil will throw some of you into prison to test you. You will suffer for 10 days, but if you remain faithful, even when facing death, I will give you the crown of life. So we got to remain faithful. Not you, me and myself too. We got to remain faithful, man. Okay, because everybody can, you know, claim they are the elect and they believe until all hell break loose. You see, it's all right now. It's a bunch of smoke and mirrors of who are real men of the Lord until that time comes. Scripture says, then they shall know who am I chosen. It says, he that hath an ear, let him hear. And that's great. Going to the NLT. It says, anyone with ears to hear must listen to the Spirit. You got to listen to the Spirit. It says, and understand what he is saying to the churches. Whoever is victorious will not be harmed by the second death. So if you remain firm and you know, don't fold and and bend to this pressure that's coming, okay, because the pressure is coming, you will be able to, you know, be saved from that second death, which the second death It's the thermonuclear destruction that's coming, okay? The first death was the flood. The second death is going to be by fire, all right? And when that fire does come, we hope that we can be delivered, you know? But if you just give in and sell out and roll over and, you know, stick a fork in him, he's done, and take that MOTB, guess what? You're going to be burnt up anyways. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 4. And these are the words that the Lord Yahawah spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith Yahawah, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. And I had a video. I may even put it in the beginning. I may even use that video, but it's a video of a woman, you know, her husband, who's been in this country for 20-something years. So she said, or 30-something years. I can't remember exactly what, you know, if I didn't forget to put it in there, you've already seen it. But she was screaming and hollering because they came and snatched her husband up at the grocery store. It was shopping, I guess, or something, and they came and snatched him up. And this is how this devil's moving. He ain't, you know, he coming in unmarked cars. They wearing face masks. You know, they ain't even identifying themselves. They acting like they somebody talking to you on the street, and they'll snatch you up and, you know, take you out. They're also attacking a lot of these people that's here from Palestine and, you know, those so-called Middle Eastern countries, so they can, you know, anybody who speaks against the small hats, anybody who speaks against the Jews. It says, for thus saith Yahawah, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. And that's what's coming. It's going to be trembling, fear, and no peace. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. People going to be terrified, afraid. It's going to be a scary time, okay, that we're coming into. They're talking about having military on the streets, man. You know, and then, you know, they're going to have checkpoints, you know. Then with that, scriptures, you know, well, not scriptures, but they have a saying, let no crisis go to waste. So they're going to start, and they're probably going to, you know, bring out the MOTB amongst that time and say everybody got to take it so you can be identified. That's going to be your identification. Then they're going to have checkpoints all over the place. And in order for you to leave your neighborhood, it's going to be a checkpoint, and you got to scan your hand or your forehead. We're coming into this time, needless to say. This summer is going to be a one to remember, I believe. It's going to be one to remember because of all the things that we see coming, you know, on the horizon. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So he is the elect, okay? Whoever the elect are, men, women, and child, will be saved out of it. But the majority of our people are going to be destroyed. You're going to be taken by this, man, okay? And this is why the Lord has it where we're telling you through the Spirit. Let me grab this. I almost forgot this part. Let's go back to Revelation 12. I almost forgot this part. It says, Revelation 12, chapter 17, it says, and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. And that's what Esau's doing. He is pissed off, and he's coming to make war. Okay, he says, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahawashi HaMashiach. Right, so those of us that believe in Yahawashi, this man is seeking to make war with us. Okay? Salakia. He's seeking to make war. He's about to make his move. He's about to run down. Okay, quite frankly. Let me see. Let's do this. Sparing none. Okay, yep. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 68. It says, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. Yeah, they're going to snatch you up. Okay? You see in the movies, you know, they show you that shit in the movies. That shit is real. You know, you say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing, you know, they'll pull up in a black truck, put a bag over your head and snatch you up, and you'll go to an undisclosed location. Nobody know where you at. No family or nothing know where you at. You know, next thing you know, you in Guantanamo Bay. Okay, and like the Harold and Kumar, you know, comedy movie, you gonna be eating a cock meat sandwich, man. Go watch that show. They was making mockery, but that shit is real. You know, you don't have any rights once you go to Guantanamo Bay or this El Salvadorian prison. Okay, you're gonna get treated like a prisoner. You got people that ain't even commit a crime that's getting sent there just because they came to this country. And they're saying if you came in this country illegally, then that is the crime. You see how this devil move? it says, and Biden was telling me, come on in, come on in. Kamala Harris too. And then she turned around and said, don't come. Don't come. Now this nigga Trump that got in office, and he ain't playing. He don't give a damn about none of that marriage. He don't care about, your papers. It's somebody they're going to start going for people who got green cards. So it's only a matter of time. Okay. And this is persecution coming down. It says, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. Right. They're going to put you in them FEMA camps or wherever, those detention centers, and try to make you take the MOTB. Tell you, if you want to take it, then you're going to get killed. A lot of people go end up taking it just so they don't get killed, and they're going to get killed anyways. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and reproach and trodden under foot. Right. Like I said, if you consent, if you take it, you gonna die anyways. Okay. For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none. You see, and right now you got motherfuckers pulling up on you in, mask and, unmarked cars. Pretty soon it's gonna be military Humvees, breaking down your door. They had it happen down here in Tampa. I believe I went into it, but they had it happen down here in Tampa where a bunch of, ICE agents with the police pulled up on somebody's house, broke the windows up, and came in there and, took, the father. He was the father of a family. He had a family, but, the way they came in with such force and speed, it was crazy. It says, which that brings me to my next precept. It says, let me grab that and put it over here. It says, enemy, flood. Oh, yep, there we go. All right, I'll close out with that. But it says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. And that's what Esau really wants. See, you niggas that don't believe in YAHAWASHI, he really already got you. But who he really wants to get that he can't get is the elect. Okay, that believe in YAHAWASHI, that's keeping the commandments, that fear the Lord. It says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Right, come to your house, round you up, kick you out of your house. Yeah, man, this is a reality. It says, then shall they be known who are my chosen. That's what I said earlier. Then you're going to know who the true men of the Lord are. Anybody can put on a garment now and go out there and scream into a camera. What happens when you're facing real tribulation and real persecution? Okay? This is why you see Jake in the hood. Jake, when the police come, they start telling on their friends. They start flipping the script. Oh, what's me? The Lord said that, man. These guys are going to start, ripping off them fringes, man. What? I'll never believe in that. You're going to see it. Okay, that's why you got to remain firm. That's why you got to constantly meditate in these scriptures every day. Now, you can't miss a day. As the Elder Apostle Hart say, you miss a day, you miss a lot. Okay, constantly be watching. Be on your spiritual watchtower, because this devil, he's about to come with some shit. And you might see 10 people get beheaded in front of you. And that's when niggas going to start folding. You're going to see that. Brothers have had visions of that. I've had visions of that. I know brothers that have visions of that. Guys that you was amongst, brothers in these camps going to start flipping the script, folding. You got agents, sellouts, turncoats. It says, and they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as a gold in the fire. You see, it says, hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand. So the days of trouble are at hand. This time is coming, but I will deliver you from the same. And that's only promised to the elect. It says, be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High is your guide. Right? They're going to come for us, and the Lord going to guide us out of those situations. Okay, and I've had visions of that. I had a vision where the Lord was guiding me out of a situation, and he literally was telling me to go this way, go that way, go that. And it was people behind me that I was leading. And he was telling me, do this, go that, go there. Do that. And before he even finished what the Spirit was telling me, I was already going. Okay. That's what the Lord's preparing us for. It says, Isaiah chapter 59, verse 19, it says, so shall they fear the name of Yahawah from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. Okay, so you know, all over the world, really. It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him, you see? And the enemy is about to come in like a flood. They're going to come in, like I said, with Humvees, tanks. I remember when I was younger, there was a police raid. This was when we were staying in the hood down here in Tampa. It was a police raid, okay? And in that police raid, they basically had brought a tank, you know? And they brought a tank. It was a police tank. And as we was, you know, in the house playing the game, all we heard was a loud boom. And we jumped, you know, we dropped to the ground. And that was a very eventful day, to say the least. But we dropped to the ground, and as we crawled out to look at what was going on outside, all we saw was a big ass tank passing by, you know, the front of the house. And, you know, it was a police tank. But basically what they did was they shot off, you know, you know, that damn tank into the air. They shot that tank off into the air or whatever, you know, to startle or alarm people. And they had the SWAT teams come in there, and, you know, it was like, you know, the neighbors, which was like family, friends, you know, they pretty much swarmed their house, killing their dogs, you know, just being a devil. So this is the time that we in all over again. This devil about to do this, but it's going to be on a whole another level, bro. That was a drug bust. This is going to be on some domestic terrorist type shit. They go, what? This man finna come with it. Okay, but that's what the Lord said. He shall lift up a standard. The standard shall be lifted up, which is a man that's going to have power. Okay, the Lord can give brothers a way to escape, you know, protect us and our families. And that's what we desperately need for how this devil coming. Okay, it says, that's the point. You get the picture. I pray this has been edifying to the hopeful elect. Double honors to our teachers, the elders, and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us his truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to hopeful elect.
Martial law on April 20th. I've been hearing a lot of talk about this date. Now, this video isn't to confirm or deny that date, just simply to explain what to expect if it does happen. You might want to share and repost this one. When martial law is declared, life as you know it, it's over. The Constitution, suspended. Your rights, they're gone. The military takes control, replacing local law enforcement, and suddenly you're living under military rule. Now, what this means for you is curfews. Your movement is controlled. Step outside at the wrong time, and you're a target. Checkpoints. Every road, every street monitored. No ID, you aren't getting passage. Unlawful searches. Your home is no longer your own. They don't need permission. They take what they want when they want. That First Amendment, yeah, no free speech. Speak out, you disappear. No protest, no questioning, just obedience. They'll tell you it's for public safety, that they're here to restore order. But in reality, you're no longer in control of your own life.